What's going on, people? I go by the name of J.F.K.
I go by the name of James Jackson. How we feeling, chat?
Hank Brennan, Hank Brennan.
Say
Let's
his
get
name.
to it. Let's get to it.
They really credit you with bringing out the government part of the corruption.
Well, we expect our criminals to commit crimes. That's what criminals do. We don't expect that from our law enforcement.
What's going on with the comments? You would never visit Massachusetts based on this case?
Exactly, because you would go there as a visitor and leave as a felon or something. Yes.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
What are your qualifications?
You get to pick me. You didn't have to, but you picked me.
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively.
What do you think?
You think I'm qualified?
Well, we expect our criminals to commit crimes. That's what criminals do. We don't expect that from our law enforcement.
What's
They really credit you with bringing out the government part of the corruption.
Well, we expect our criminals to commit crimes. That's what criminals do. We don't expect that from our law enforcement.
Woo! What's going on, people? Hey, Todd, how you doing, buddy?
Todd.
I blew you off, huh, pal? Well, I'm sorry. When you're live sometimes, it's you kind of go off the rails, but I'll make sure I'll get that snake bitten to you tonight. I thought I played snake bitten. I think I play it every night before I leave.
Yeah, can I just say one thing, JFK? Listen, guys, we're live, so when we take the calls and you call in and ask for a request or something, we may not get to it right away, and then something else may take over the subject. So please just have patience. We'll get to whatever you want. We're not trying to blow you off or anything like that.
Let's get to this. I could have sworn I played that, though, that night.
Yeah, I think he did.
See
but
what they talk about. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Call 911, officer down, don't make a sound, there's an officer in the house. All I can feel is my phone vibrate. Wish you was here, not sitting at my place. Who let the dogs out? Someone close the gate. It's cold where the broken face, please Lord, not today. Laying on this grass, I can hear the snakes. Wish you would've told me he was feeling the way when he sent you that text. Seen the fear in your face, then he texted me too. Coming here, then you drove away. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
Go Todd.
Yes. Hey, that's for everybody, Todd. I thought I usually play that every episode. I usually I usually throw that in somewhere. Yeah, I always play it at the end, or I throw it in there like during a break or something. But yeah, Todd, the $10, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate that you're trying to keep the vibe glowing. That's great, and I appreciate the love. Why don't you add it to your playlist and bump out to it? But it's all love, Todd, man. I appreciate it. If I didn't play it, I apologize. Hey, it is what it is. No big deal. Yeah. So this Hank guy, I don't know, man. He's kind of like,
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
I mean, say his name, Hank Brennan, Hank Brennan, Hank Brennan. So Hank Brennan is kind of like Beetlejuice, right? Because the whole system is a bunch of zombies. This particular courthouse setting over there in Dedham, Superior, it's like the zombie apocalypse, whatever how you say that. If I said that wrong, but and right now Hank is a zombie. But the question is he gonna be a good zombie or a bad zombie? Is he gonna come in and do the right thing, kind of like Beetlejuice? Is he gonna come in and save the day? I don't know. What do you feel, James? I mean, he says Whitey Bulger's not a rat. So if he says Whitey's not a rat, why would he think Karen Reed is guilty?
Right. I think he's coming in to clean house, man. I think he's coming in to take care of Morrissey's problem. Get the feds off Morrissey for a little while until so he can say, yeah, that's why I brought him in. You see, I brought him in to get rid of this corruption. But we'll see. We'll see.
It's a tough thing. I mean, there's been some influences. I was going to get into some. What do you guys feel? Some of the influences out there, out in the chat. Who do you guys connect to when you guys do your thing? Excuse me. Like who's the people you guys watch? I seen a couple of guys. One guy I seen, he was calling Hank the mob. That he's protecting a mob. I guess Turtle Boy said some wild stuff about him. I guess Turtle Boy said something. Is anybody in the chat could tell me what Turtle Boy said? I guess I don't know exactly what he said, but I guess Turtle Boy said something wild. That's what I heard. Do you guys out there think that's a good idea? What do you think, James?
No, I don't think going into it right away bashing the guy is a great idea.
Why is that?
Well, he might feel a certain way. If I had to go do a job and show up and the roof is, and I'm there to do the plumbing work, but the roof is telling me I'm a piece of shit and I don't know how to do the plumbing work. It's like, you guys are doing the roof. what do you care about what I'm doing? You know?
Yeah.
Just let me do my job.
Yeah, but I mean, there's two ways to look at it, right? I mean, one is did he come in to protect Morrissey and get a conviction so the feds stay off his back? And would he sell himself short based on how, he's actually a good guy, right? Like, he stood up for Whitey. He said that Whitey wasn't a rat. Whitey had a documentary back in 2011 that really it came out on CNN, and the whole documentary was basically based around how Whitey wasn't an informant. Um, it was the FBI that was his informants. And then, there's a point that you make, right? That, Whitey will be a murderer. Whitey will be a criminal, but he's from Southie. So he definitely don't want to be a rat,
Right.
So he's going all out to clear his name. But the thing is, Hank was on board with this.
Yeah, I did a little reading on Hank, and I think it said before he was an attorney, he was in a band. And I guess one of his friends was like, he never even wanted to be a lawyer. So that was interesting.
He actually had a case in Essex County that I read about. There was a CO in Essex County in Lawrence Court that was having an affair with a chick. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. Let me mute myself real quick. Hold on.
He plays the saxophone. Yeah, I seen something. I knew he was in a band that went to like bars, local bars, nothing big.
Yeah, so he in Essex County there was a case with a CO out there, and the CO allegedly raped this girl in the hallway, but he said it was consensual. She basically used the defense was that she used that swerve to get out of jail. Like, I'll rat the CO out if you guys let me out, because she was out there active in addiction. Guess what? He got the guy found not guilty. So this guy is a savage. And that was a publicized case back then. I think that was back in like 2014 or something. So that was a pretty big case, hit the news and all that. So this guy does big stuff. The question is, he doesn't like corruption. And now he's on the corrupted side. So at first glance, you're thinking, wow, how could you get into this case when you know it's all corruption? What does that make you? But is he coming in to clean it up? I don't know. So let's get into a couple of things, for sure. We feeling out there tonight, people. He'll try to get Karen convicted. He will try to get Karen convicted. The question is why? Why would he do something like that?
Yeah.
Why would he do something like that? Why would he do something like that? Why? So when he interviews all these police officers and everybody, he's going to turn the other cheek?
No, I seen that he takes his cases real serious. Like, he likes to really get into them. He's going to get into this and he's going to do his job, I believe. I got faith in Hank.
Nice.
He's like Beetlejuice. I mean, that's who he is. He's Beetlejuice.
It's like, which way is he going to swerve, though? Is he going to do the right thing? Or is he going to do the wrong thing? We'll see. But I'm going to play a couple of things so we could go along. I want to show you something, James. It's pretty interesting with these lawyers that talk about it. Check this out. These people are lawyers in Boston, and they have a different perspective. Check it out. It's pretty interesting.
For Essex County prosecutor and current defense attorney in Andover, Massachusetts.
What the hell just happened? What did I do?
Is ahead for the Karen Reed case. And we turned to a former Essex County district attorney and now a private defense attorney in Andover, Massachusetts, by the name of Doug Ryan, to ask him those questions. Joining me now is former Essex County prosecutor and current defense attorney in Andover, Massachusetts, Doug Ryan. Doug, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me. Happy to be here today.
And this is our co-host, Lainey Law. Doug, the first question I have for you is, what was your response when you heard that Hank Brennan, a private attorney now, was brought in as special prosecutor to the Karen Reed case?
I thought it was an interesting tactical move by the government. Anytime Attorney Brennan, who I know basically by reputation, walks into the courtroom or litigates something and you're sitting there, you end up paying attention. So there's a bit of a cachet to the name. He's one of the most highly respected guys on the defense bar that you run into. And it's a power move, putting him at the head of such a high-profile prosecution here.
Sure. Now, it's just speculation on all of our parts, and I understand that, but I'll put you on the spot. Why would the Norfolk County District Attorney, and you work for the District Attorney in Essex, why would the Norfolk County District Attorney bring in a private attorney to prosecute their case?
The theory that some people have shared, and that I may think makes a lot of sense at least, is a bit of insulation and a bit of credibility. There was so much dust kicked up the first trial regarding conspiracies, law enforcement lies, the fix being in against her, that if you put somebody who susses those issues out to protect their clients in a defense role for a living and does so at the highest level in the Commonwealth, it immediately makes it very hard for me to imagine a far-reaching government conspiracy taking place with Hank Brennan at the helm. It seems like an impossibility to me. So I think it's an instant bit of credibility attached. It's like a big free agent signing. Now we're thinking about this guy's reputation instead of what was trampled upon the first go-around.
Now, in the first trial, there were 74 witnesses. It lasted 2.5 months. There were over 600 exhibits. Do you think that a new eye coming onto the case will try and condense it down and make it more efficient?
If I was trying to prosecute this case, I would want to make it more efficient. I'd want to make it more simple and straightforward, obviously, and about what transpired that night versus what transpired for the months of investigation afterwards. So I could see that. And I think Attorney Brennan has the chops to make that happen, but the defense may have some say in that as well. I think they stand to benefit by the length of trial, and it's a tactic they might look at. They want all the eyes, the coverage, the imagination of the citizens of the Commonwealth running wild with what might have transpired. So we might be in for a rock fight again, but I think it'll be a little bit shorter of a rock fight this time around. Now,
if the trial is to be shorter, who do you cut out? I mean, it would seem to me that the lead investigator, Michael Proctor, could not go in the stand again. It would seem to me a given. I don't know. Would you agree with that? And then what about the accident reconstructionist, Joseph Paul, whose testimony didn't quite go all the way in confirming what the Commonwealth's theory was? Would those be people that would be cut or replaced, or how would that go?
I would have to say replaced, because I think there's going to be important testimony from people in those roles that the government needs. But they'll be looking to do it in a, like we talked about, a much more linear fashion. Just the facts, ma'am, if you can, put it into those terms. So I think that there will be efforts to make it a more trim, efficient trial. Whether that's successful or not will remain to be seen. I think.
You heard what he said, right? He said that he said he would trim the trial.
Yeah, why would
he would trim it? Miss Shorty, thank you. The decision by the NCDAO, the North County District Attorney Office, is fascinating to me. Yeah, it is. It really is. And I'm on the side that they're gonna do the right thing. But James, go ahead. What are you talking about?
Why would they get rid of Proctor? You would think they would keep Proctor only because he was the lead investigator. Why? I mean, they would get rid of him?
Because this is what people got to understand. When you're in the courtroom, that's all that matters, is the evidence in the courtroom for that day. People don't have long memories. You lose them real quick in the courtroom. This is on experience. That was a 2-month trial. There's no way it's what you say at the beginning and it's what you say at the end. And if they would have said at the beginning, my theory about the fight, would have showed the tape with the fight, that would have been in their head. And that would have always been in their head. And then you end it on that. They never did that. They threw all this different stuff in there. Jeff Williams, more facts, less fat. And the facts, let's face it, there's a lot of facts against her. And in that courtroom, them facts get crazy. They do. I mean, we could sit
Yeah.
there in denial. We could sit there in denial all day and say Jeff ain't got a point here. No, them facts are tough. Tough to beat. Glass in the in the sweater, hair on the tail light. What was it like? How many? I don't know how many. 60 witnesses against her.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets crazy in that courtroom, in that space, and in that time. People got to understand that's how you win the case in the courtroom. You're not going to win the case outside the courtroom. That's why I bring this up with Hank Brennan. You can definitely have some influence, as far as people, on the outside saying, "Hey, maybe this is a setup, maybe this is wrong." Karen Reed's, and all this stuff is good, but this name dropping wives, I think. Someone tell me what Turtle Boy said. I don't know. I don't want to be the guy to say it,
Right.
Not,
Say the wrong
I
thing.
don't
Does
say
anybody
the wrong
know?
thing. But I guess I heard through the grapevine that, people are going at this guy. And here's the thing. If this guy decides to take this case and prosecute Karen, if you study this guy or looked into this guy, you got to ask yourself the question, why? And it's crazy. Why are they going at her neck so bad? That's what makes it suspicious, Jeff. I mean, seriously, Jeff, you got to admit, okay? All bullshit, crap aside, why are they going so much at Karen's neck? Like they want her to eat this case.
I would think so, to answer that, because they don't want to look like they screwed up. They don't want to look like a weak task force. They don't want to look like a weak Mass State Police. They don't want to look like all of the law enforcement involved or whoever's involved. They don't want to look weak. So blaming on an innocent woman that already almost kind of in a roundabout way said, and they just, they flipped her words, how she said it. So yeah, like you said in the beginning, from day one, she's in the scope. And we know how that works in the courtroom.
Wow, man. Listen to some more of what this guy says. It's pretty interesting. He name drops your favorite rapper. Peep it.
They'll want to for efficiency and also just on the keeping it to the merits of the case.
It seems to me that the prosecution didn't even want to bring Michael Proctor on the stand. It seemed to me that they were trying to get as much evidence in as they could through his supervisor, Yuri Buchanan. If they can do that, and missile investigation, now I understand. But even if they do that, couldn't the defense call in Michael Proctor and kind of smear the case a little bit that way?
Yeah, he might not be as willing to go up there, but I would want a lot of that in if I was trying to defend the case. I mean, there was good eating for the defense on that the first time around. The thing is, the government may want to, I think the term used is draw the sting, have some of that stuff come out on their terms when they're doing the questioning. And in this case, the trial's already taken place. What more?
Draw the sting, right, James? You peeping what he's saying? Draw the sting. Basically, bring up all the dirt before the defense brings it up. But listen what he compares it to. This is wild.
Sting is there to be drawn. Everybody knows the nitty-gritty of what his damaging testimony was.
I like the way you put that, drawing the sting. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that's what the Commonwealth tried to do in the first trial. I mean, they had all of these witnesses, including Proctor, reading all those salacious texts. I don't think that worked for them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that worked for them the first time. So would the new prosecutor, Hank Brennan, want to try it a different way?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll want to do a better job of drawing that sting out, if that's the tact he takes. Not to go pop culture, but the Eminem movie, 8 Mile, he was doing a rap battle. He said, yeah, I am a nerd. He drew the sting and his opponent didn't know what to say afterwards. This is a little different because it's already taken place once. Everybody knows what the potential testimony is. So it's going to be more, how do we manage that? How do we mitigate it? And is drawing the sting worth it, or leave it up to the defense and see if they even want to go there?
Do you think that it's going to be, I personally think it's going to be a lot harder, but I'm curious on your opinions on selecting a jury pool after this whole situation, because how on earth are you going to hide the first trial from anyone? You can't really hide it. And then you also have the things Proctor said that people are going to have on their minds when they're going in for jury selection.
Yeah, it's not just that. There's been a number of less than flattering stories with the Massachusetts State Police lately. It's in the papers all the time, various stuff. So that's going to be an issue. I mean, I was going to visit clients in the Middleton House of Correction, and court TV was on, and all the visiting family members, the guards are saying, okay, you can come in. And they're saying, 1 minute, we're watching the Reed trial. So I mean, everybody was invested to some degree or another. If you didn't know about this, I would think that you're not representative of the people of the Commonwealth for a jury. So yeah, I mean, it's been done before, but the first go around, everybody heard rumors and press coverage. Now the testimony's all been streamed. It's going to be a heck of a trick to find people who don't have some opinion as they walk into the door for impanelment.
Now, if you're a prosecutor, put yourself in Hank Brennan's shoes and you try and make the thing more efficient. I don't know if it's even possible, but can you pair things out like, for example, the Sullivan sisters who talked about the incident down in Aruba where John O'Keefe was apparently seen kissing one of the sisters, and both of the sisters went on the stand. And it seemed to me, took up an awful lot of time. I don't think it really proved anything. Is that one of the things you can cut out?
I would be trying to make this, again, as simple as we can and get back to the physical evidence. Awesome. There's issues there too, but I don't know what was added in by a lot of that. I mean, some of the commentary you were hearing around the proverbial water cooler is, boy, the government's doing a great job of putting in the defense's case when they were doing, so the good news is Attorney Brennan, Special Prosecutor Brennan, will get to Monday morning quarterback this thing with all the stacks of transcripts, and he'll be able to see what hit the mark and what didn't. And that's really going to be part of the trick of this, is the strategy on the front end. Anybody can question a witness, some better than others, but all the things you brought up are going to be the strategy to lay the scene of what calls he wants to make and try his best to mold this lump of clay into something that average people can understand, the cause of death, the strength of the evidence, all that, and see if he can get the conviction.
In my mind, it was hard. I did follow it. What I couldn't watch, because I'm like yourself, I'm still trying to maintain some guise of practicing law in an office. So what I wasn't able to watch at night, I watched on YouTube at night, because it's all available. So I watched as much as possible. But I have to admit, the trial started in mid-April, and it wasn't over until the Monday before the 4th of July. And I'm scratching my head. I'm having a hard time. I'm going back through my notes. I couldn't remember some of the earlier testimony. Do you think it'll be wise? And do you think Attorney Brennan will be able to maybe condense it and try the case a little bit more quickly?
I think it would be wise. I mean, I did a homicide case that went some like 40 days. And by the end, I thought I had landed a lot of really good blows in the first week of testimony, but it was ancient history by the time we got to closing arguments. And if you get holidays mixed in there, it's a lot to ask of people. That's why they talk about the primacy and recency evidence or bias. The first thing you say, jurors often remember, and the last thing you say.
Bingo.
But here, there was months and months of work in the middle. And it's an awful lot to ask anybody, never mind your average.
So what do you think about that, man? What do you got to say about that? What do you think Brennan's going to do? You think he's going to try to condense it? Ditto. Peace with the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Go ahead, James. Take it away.
What do you say? Sling it down? He can
slim it down. Take the fat off, bro.
Take it out. So I could see him doing
that was too much, right? That 2 months. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like he said, make it easier. If it was a simple car accident and that's all it was, why bring up Aruba and all that shit that doesn't have to do with anything? So yeah, I agree.
It's got everything. It's got everything to do with a murder case. No, what I'm saying, that's what I mean. That's like, I don't even think he's gonna want to do a murder case. Like the judge is they put a murder case on this girl. Everybody can agree in the chat whether you think she did it or she didn't do it. She was overcharged. Period. There was no murder. She didn't say, "Oh, I got mad about Aruba 3 weeks ago, and this was my plan to hit him and kill him."
No,
I mean that never happened.
No,
it was never a murder. It was manslaughter from the jump. If it was that, what I mean?
If it was that, it was manslaughter with no murder.
So how do you even try that being Hank Brennan, knowing that because Hank Brennan, He must feel a certain way to even try someone for murder, knowing that it's not even a murder. Like, let's just say she did do it, right? And Hank Brennan knew, like, say the evidence was way overwhelming. There was no reasonable doubt. How could he even try it for murder knowing that it's not a murder case? It's just not. You know what I mean? So that's why I think, the people out there, my opinion, if you want JFK's opinion, my opinion, honestly, is that they know that it's going in front of 3 judges in Supreme Court. They
Mhm.
already know. The fix is already in. They know Judge Beverly Canoni. She wanted to flex her power. She wanted to play a game. She wanted to make it harder. For whatever reason why she wanted to do that, she did it. But they also know it's going in front of these three judges. And based on experience and them being around the court system, they know it's going to get dropped to manslaughter. And that's the case that Brennan's going to be pushing, is manslaughter, if you ask me.
So she still could get time. She could get what? Probably if she did two, maybe 3 on. Wait, yeah, 7 years, 2 on and afters.
Nah, she's in Superior Court, bro. She's getting state time if she gets found convicted, bro.
Oh.
What do you mean? You already know that. She's in Dedham Superior. That's it.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I was
county,
thinking old court. Now she's gonna be state. Yeah,
she's county, man. I mean, the county's over for her. No house bids for her. That's why there was a house bid on the table early on, and she didn't bite on it.
no.
I'm sure there was a house bid early on when, in that 4 months before she got indicted, there was probably rumblings about taking a house bid if he was going to go in that direction.
And that's why you think he put the murder too. I mean, on not the murder too, but the murder on top of it, because she didn't take the deal. Because when you don't take those deals, man, they get upset with you, and then they
Well,
try.
I mean, I think it's because he was a police officer, and
Yeah,
I think, that had something to do with it.
absolutely.
He's saying, coffee cake. I don't know where you're getting your information from, but they're saying he or she, I don't know who you are, if you're a girl or a guy. He's saying, I don't know,
They
offered 4
offer 4
years.
years.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
never
know
heard
if I never heard that. Let me see. Anyone know why I can't type in the regular chat?
You
What
are.
regular chat? You're in the chat.
You're in the chat, Coco.
You're in the regular chat, Coco.
Rob, that's what they decided.
Well, what they did was if they were going to get her on a murder case, right? They just looked at it as he went to.
I'm a mom. I'm a
They
mom.
What?
She said, or he
I'm
said,
a mom.
oh no, she said, I'm a mom.
Oh, okay, coffee cake. All right, so you're a woman. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. You know what I mean? You handles coffee cake.
Right.
Much respect. The thing is that when she left to go to Jen McCabe's house, it's only a 10-minute ride or something like that. And she took like a half hour. So based on the library footage of her driving that way, driving towards Fairview Road, they're saying that she went back by the house and she stopped there. And
Coco
I
saying
have to pay. I can't just chat. I don't know why.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, Coco. I don't know. I don't have no idea. I just threw this on and I'm just rocking out. And Coco, I appreciate it that you're even jumping in and spending money. I really do. And Coco, much respect, Coco. Thank you. Everybody give love to Coco. Peace to Coco. Coco helping us out. She wanted to talk and give us love and make sure she was in this. She threw up that $3. A lot of people wouldn't do that. So peace to Coco. The thing is, she swung back by the house allegedly, right? And allegedly seen him sitting there, right? And she went to Jen McCabe and said, "Oh my God," and then they went back to Meadows Ave and then went back to Fairview Road. And so Lally's defense, his conspiracy, because that's a conspiracy, because that's not factual. We don't know if that happened. That's just something he made up to get a murder charge, that when she went back by him, if she, she should have stopped and helped him. And then that would have been manslaughter, right? Because if she would have just got out the car right then and there, if she did it, obviously, but they're saying that based on her route and how long it took, on the time and how they seen her on the camera, that she went back by Fairview Road, seen him there, left him there. They even said that on that one of the voicemail messages, that when it sounds like, I think it sounds like F you, John, but then, it kind of sounds like, is that you, John?
Wow.
Did you hear that?
Didn't she say I was? No, she said I was leaving too, didn't she? But my thing, JFK, with that whole situation.
Let's ask Jeff Williams that. Jeff, you're in the chat. Jeff wants Karen Reed to do 100 years. So Jeff, what was that voicemail about?
But before I forget, if you dropped me off somewhere, right, and the next morning you couldn't, you were looking for me, couldn't find me, the first place you would go to is the place you dropped me off, no? That night?
What you mean? Say that again. I'm sorry.
Okay, if you dropped me off at a party and we're roommates and I say, yo, I'll be home, I'll call you later, let you know how it's going, and then you never hear from me. Oh my God, he never came home. So now where are you gonna go? First place you're gonna go is look for me. Where you dropped me off. I just don't understand why she.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. If Jen McCabe, that's why everybody wants to call Jen McCabe a liar, and she is a liar, obviously. And in our opinions, right? Our boy Jeff Williams here, he don't believe it. And Jeff, listen, man, nothing but respect over here. We try to keep respect and love in the chat. So I'm asking you a serious question. What was on the voicemail? What was allegedly said on that voicemail? Do you remember too? I think it was along the lines that she said, "Is that you, John?" That's what it sounded like. You tell me, Jeff. You know what I mean? I remember all this stuff, man, but I just want to make sure, someone in the chat that was alleged, what was said. I guess I guess she said something else. I guess she said, F you, John.
I thought it was F you, I'm leaving or something.
Nah, there's something as clear. Wait a minute, as let me see. As it that clear, I don't know. He doesn't know off the bat, but he knows what I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what I'm talking about too. Oh, she said this right here. She said, "I fucking hate you, John."
Yeah.
But it sounded like, well, no. That ain't it. She said that when she left. There was at a period of time when she was on the way to Jen McCabe's house, she made a phone call. And it sounded like she said, "Is that you, John?" And it was right around the time she drove past the library by Fairview Road, and then she made the call on the phone to the voicemail. So that's how Lally painted it up. She drove by the library, then she got to 34 Fairview, she picked up the phone, she seen the body, she tried to call him and said, "Is that you, John?" And then peeled off and went to go get Jen. That's how he painted it to get the murder case. Now, my point is, saying all that, people, I'm not saying that she's guilty. There's a point to my madness. To say all that, how can Brennan, is he going to paint it up that way? Hank Brennan? Is he just going to forget all that and say, well, you know what? That's just too much fat. That's too much speculation. I'm just going to go. She got mad, backed up, hit him, and that's it. Nobody's seen the body, and she did it, and we're going to just try it for manslaughter. Is that the route he's going to take? Or is he going to sell his soul and go for the murder? Hank Brennan, you tell me. I don't know. You guys tell me about Hank.
I don't know. I can't see it happen. Coco, you got in. All right.
Oh, she's back?
She's in, yes. Glad you figured it out.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Swerve, that's right.
Woo! It's showtime.
It's
What's
show.
Hank gonna do, man? Let me jump into some Hank Brennan, some stuff about Hank to get you acquainted with Hank. James, I love your haircut tonight. Hey,
Hey, thank you. Thank you,
Coco
Coco.
for the win. So what I was saying was to the replay crew, if you're jumping in here right now, we love the replay crew. And if you was listening and you were forgetting what I was saying, I was basically saying was that Lally painted up a conspiracy of his own because it wasn't factual. It was based on time and based on, what could have, would have, should have, could have happened. She drove past the library and then a certain voicemail went through and it kind of sounded like it could have been, but it really wasn't. Is that you, John? I forget what the defense said it was, but it kind of sounded like that and was right in that pocket to get the murder charge. So what I'm saying is this guy, Hank Brennan, going to do the same thing? We'll see. We'll see with Hank. Let's get up into a little bit about Hank Brennan. I'm going to try to bring you as much Hank Brennan content as I can and try to give Hank Brennan, if he's sitting there watching this, because there's a lot of influences out there, right? And there's a lot of people that are going to jump on the train and they're going to talk trash about Hank. And they're going to say, oh, you loved Whitey Bulger, and Whitey Bulger was a stone cold criminal and a rapist and a rat. And Hank Brennan didn't feel that way. Hank Brennan loved Whitey Bulger. He thought he was very smart. And dare I say, if Whitey Bulger didn't get killed in jail, Hank Brennan would still be rocking with Whitey right now.
He'd be putting money on his canteen.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit. You know he would, man. He said he's a historian. He said all sorts of shit about Whitey.
Yeah, he loved him some Whitey, man. And peep this right here. Look at this. This is very interesting. Check this out, people. You're gonna hear Whitey Bulger talk. I repeat, everybody, you're gonna hear Whitey Bulger speak back in 2011 after he got busted. Check it out.
For people who are disappointed that he never took the stand, here you see him on the phone with his attorney and you hear this conversation. So you basically you have Whitey Bulger giving his defense in cooperating with this film. And we have a sense here of him addressing the issue of whether or not he was a rat, as became the focus of this trial.
You've told me since the very first day I met you.
Yeah.
You've never been an informant.
That's correct.
Does that mean you've never been an informant in your entire life?
Never. As a teenager, I took many a beating at the police stations, and I never cracked. As a bank robber, I was captured. I pled guilty to free the girlfriend that I was with, and I got a 20-year prison sentence, first offender. In the Boston FBI, no way. I met John Connolly, who's a Southie guy, Irish Catholic like myself. You know, it's friendship. Geez, if I ever hear anything, I'll tip you off, give you a heads up. And then I told, all right, John. I says, I'll see you. You can let me know. I'd appreciate it. And that's how it got started.
Well, that's fascinating. He sounds like he sounds very lucid and he sounds like a younger man too.
Well, it's something that really, really grounds you because there's so much that comes out of this story with the Whitey Bulger myth, and he's this larger than life figure. To actually hear him talk and to understand these elements of this story makes it very, very fascinating. There's also I have to say this little interlude, probably about 14 or 15 minutes, where they digest whether or not he was even an informant, which is a departure that many people in the area, especially families, found really sensational. But it does create for great nuance and narrative arc here.
All right, Jared Bowen, thanks for that. We're going to bring another guest into the discussion here. He's made a few cameos also in the Whitey documentary. Hank Brennan was part of Bulger's defense. Boston Hank.
Thanks
there
for having me.
So I take it you've seen the film as well?
I have.
And what is your take?
Of course he has.
Realistic portrayal of the trial, or is it a little thin on detail for your liking?
Well, unfortunately, the camera wasn't allowed in the courtroom, so it can't capture the moments and the emotion. I think we all are, and we spoke about that before. But I think it really was a bold move by Joe Berlinger. And what he did is he had the courage to look at the entire case objectively, to try to unwind
happened there.
Unwind some of the myths that have been told over the decades. And I think for that reason, this film's really important. It begins to show there's a lot more to the story. This is just scratching the surface. And as we tried to show at trial, the complicity isn't just the Boston FBI. This is systemic. And at some point, there has to be accountability.
I know you've been asked this before, and I think I even asked you, then why didn't you put him on the stand? Why didn't we hear some of this stuff? He was going to be convicted no matter what on something or other. They were going to bring him down. But let's hear what his defense was.
We were desperate to put him on the stand, and he was willing to take the stand and implicate himself. In fact, Jay Carney and I, in our questioning, implicated him many times through the trial. But the important thing is that there had to be equal accountability. We wanted to call representatives, not just from the FBI, the Department of Justice, who allowed this to happen and orchestrated it. We wanted him to be able to talk about his relationships with high-level players in the Department of Justice, and the rulings by the court, after the government tried to prevent that, was he could not call witnesses from the Department of Justice. He could not speak about those relationships.
Now listen to him. He wouldn't put Whitey on the stand unless they would let Whitey throw everybody under the bus. And this guy wanted to go against the Department of Justice. He wanted to go against the feds. This guy right here, Hank Brennan, Beetlejuice. Hank Brennan. He's a zombie.
He seems like he wanted justice in the end.
So is this guy right here going to do Karen Reed wrong? Look at how passionate he is. I don't know. Did he turn the other cheek? It's crazy.
He could not discuss the protection he had. So inevitably, he could take the stand and simply give a confession, which he was willing to do, but it had no accountability for the Department of Justice. We wanted a fair trial where everybody could be held accountable.
Yeah, but I mean, right in the beginning of the trial, a judge ruled that there was no merit to that defense. So, I mean, once that ruling had been made, you still had the opportunity.
Well, we actually didn't. The judge didn't decide the facts and say there was no merit. What the court said is you can't present it at trial. If you want a pretrial hearing, you can have the issue aired before me. And Mr. Bulger, under the circumstances, did not trust a court to make judgments on his defense. He wanted a jury of his peers. So he wasn't allowed to talk about any of those issues. He wasn't allowed to call the witnesses. So that defense was taken from us. And that's why he didn't testify. We were hopeful that they would have the trial in Oklahoma or Florida, where it is televised. He'd be allowed to testify, and then the community and the public could judge his credibility.
I'm surprised he was allowed to participate even by phone in this documentary, because as you know, 60 Minutes and a number of other news organizations wanted to get an interview with Bulger in prison. Why does this, I mean, this is still being filmed and his voice is there. Why was that allowed?
This was a post-trial conversation that Attorney Carney had with Jim Bulger. There was a ruling before trial that the government felt any conversation by him with the media would prejudice the case, ignoring the fact that every one of their witnesses had had their opportunity on national syndicate shows. So in this period before he was sentenced, but after the trial, there wasn't that inherent prejudice, and this phone call happened at some point.
So it was just one phone call?
As far as I know, it was one phone call, yes.
So you are right now in the middle, thick of the appeal on Whitey Bulger. You told me it's due August 4th. You're going out there to meet with Whitey. What will you be talking about? What will the essence of that be?
Well, when I see him, we'll talk about a little bit of the trial. We'll catch up. But we'll also, most importantly, talk about the issues that we're going to present to the appeals court. I think that the brief is strong. The issues I feel passionately about, it really is about the Department of Justice being equally accountable for their conduct. There's two wonderful lawyers. Danya Fulton, who worked on the trial team, is working with me, and a gifted lawyer, Jim Boudreau, has been helping with the appeal, and he's been instrumental. So I want to go discuss the appeal with him. I'll let him know we're proceeding and talk about the issues.
He was in solitary confinement while he was at Plymouth. Is he in the general population in Arizona?
He is in Arizona as a convicted prisoner. He's in a regular population unit with the other prisoners. The conditions in Plymouth were unique, to say the least. Solitary confinement for 2.5 years was an extraordinary situation.
You know, just briefly, this is a documentary, but we mentioned that Johnny Depp film. How do you feel about that? It's a Hollywood production.
You know, I take great offense. It pains me when I see articles in the newspaper glorifying what happened in the 70s and 80s. It's based on a story that is really fiction, a story that predated all the civil trials, the Conley trials, this trial. So it just exasperates the fraud that has been imparted by the Department of Justice. This book was a mouthpiece for the FBI and DOJ. And now we have Hollywood.
Black Mass, you're talking about.
Black Mass. They're glorifying in pillaging off the suffering. We still have victims and
Are
families.
they going to get it? And we brought that up. Are they going to divide any of the spoils with the victims, or is it strictly a Hollywood?
I think you'd have to ask them, but I would anticipate they wouldn't give a dime. And what they're interested in is just their bottom line sales. They're going to fictionalize and sensationalize the story and not care about the suffering of everybody. And really, if you've seen firsthand, and I'm sure you've spoken to many, the pain that these families have had, this is really a travesty. And I in no way validate that movie.
I have to agree with you. All right, Hank Brennan.
Whoa. He just said he didn't like how the Black Mass movie played out. And then he said how during the trial, he had to tell the families of the victims, we got to do this to get Whitey to talk about this. And they were okay with that. And they didn't get justice for the families, but they had to take a different deal. So he had to do something else. And then he was mad about the Black Mass movie, how they portrayed Whitey. I don't know.
What he's saying is they never let Whitey get on a stand and explain what happened, what was going on, and who did what. You know what I mean? You want me to spill the beans? I'm gonna spill the beans on the feds. I mean, what he's saying is what he's saying, right? I mean, he's basically saying, Whitey, okay, you want me to get up on the stand? I'm gonna throw all these dudes out there. I'll tell you exactly what happened. So all the victims, people who died, people that were buried, everybody knows exactly how it happened and why it happened and who did what. But I ain't saying nothing unless the feds, we get the story all the way straight.
Right. Yeah.
Listen, I don't know what to say about that, right? I really don't. My parallel is this. This guy went hard for Whitey Bulger, a criminal. Now, is Morrissey's a criminal? We all know that. This guy wants to be elected. Look what he did with the Sandra Birchmore case. Birchmore, case. He's no good, this guy. So is he just going to defend him and get him the W so he doesn't have to deal with the feds? Or is he coming in to clean it up?
Clean it up and get rid of Morrissey. Take his job.
Yeah. Is he the next DA? Out of that, you know what I mean? Like, who else can you get that knows, that can right these wrongs, that know how to, move around these type of people? I mean, he was dealing with, I'm pretty sure them feds were pretty pissed at him, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure them feds were pretty mad when he was talking about the DOJ and this was, the white, this is all, they called him a rat because they was afraid what he was going to say. They painted the picture,
they wouldn't let him. Yeah, they wouldn't let him take the stand because of this, and he said everything. He hates corrupt law enforcement.
So is this the guy that's gonna, is this guy gonna prosecute? My thing is this: he's gonna talk to all these witnesses. He's probably talking to him right now as we speak. When he goes to talk to Brian A., he's gonna know if Brian A. is full of shit in the first 10 minutes.
Oh God. I watched his testimony the other day just over again, and it's if he calls him back in,
of course he is. He got to.
This is gonna be great. I can't.
But what I'm saying is, before all that, before he gets on the stand, why would he even want? When he goes to talk to Jen McCabe, and he has all the but that you got to understand, he's got the power of a district attorney. Right now, he has the power of a assistant district attorney, which means is he could turn around and press charges all on them. He's got superpowers right now.
Oh man, he's gonna do that probably. I would assume he's gonna press charges on everybody in that.
Bro.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Hey, Brennan, y'all. Come on. Yeah, look at her. When he's talking to him.
What are your qualifications?
You get to pick me. You didn't have to, but you picked me.
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively.
What do you think? You think I'm qualified?
Well, you know, we expect our criminals to commit crimes. That's what criminals do. We don't expect that from our law enforcement.
Is Hank gonna say today? Hank Brennan. I don't know. Hank Brennan. You're hearing it first, man. You're hearing it first from J.F.K. and James Jackson. We're here to tell you this is the swerve you've been waiting for. We're not gonna go on. We're not gonna go on Twitter and make shows up and talk about, oh man, Hank's a bad guy and he's with the mob. Listen, at the end of the day, Whitey did some bad things, and I don't agree with it. He was a criminal. Hank Brennan's on the side of the defense. You know, he doesn't like the police at the end of the day. I can't see how he would like Higgins, Big Bad Brian A., McCabe, and little Colin, 16, 18-year-old. How old was he at the time? You think you're gonna pull the wool over this guy's eyes?
No way, man. This dude is coming in to clean house.
Hank played the harmonica. Okay. You know. Hey, so check this out, right? You know, we was down there, game 2, Celtics game, and, you know, we pound the pavement. We do it a little bit different. You know, we was out there talking to the people. Game 2 when we won the 18th banner, you know, 4 games later. And, yeah, you know, and we was out there. We was living our best life. Check it out. We talked to some people.
Wow. Read between the lines. Game 2 finals. Let me ask you a question. Is Karen Reed guilty or is she not guilty?
Karen Reed is not guilty. No?
So you think she's going to get found not guilty no matter what?
I hope so. There's no conceivable way that happened.
You out here at Causeway Street. Game 2 of the finals. And free Cameron Reed.
Can I ask you a question about the Celtics real quick? On the camera? Right here. Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this. Are you familiar with Karen Reed?
I am.
You think she's guilty or not guilty?
I don't know enough about the trial to comment on that. I can't comment on that.
Free her till it's backwards.
You think she's guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
She's not.
On the record, not guilty.
Where you from, my man?
I am from Milford.
That's what it is, my brother. Thank you for your time.
Hell yeah.
That's what it is.
That's a really good question. I don't know.
You don't know?
I am free Karen Reed.
Free Karen Reed?
He says free Karen Reed.
Come over here, brother. Come over here. So let me ask you. Let me segue.
Yeah,
if you let's start here first. If you had one word to describe this Celtics team, what would it be?
I would say they're murderers like the Canton Police Department.
Oh! So let me ask you this, my man. Let me ask you this: Is Karen Reed guilty or not guilty?
Karen Reed's fucking not guilty. It's not even a question. Kyrie's guilty. Karen Reed is not guilty.
Kyrie.
Not guilty. Cut it.
That's what. Where you from, my man?
I'm from Hampton, New Hampshire.
You know what it is, man. All the way from NH, all the way to Canton and Stoughton. Yeah. Karen Reed, man, not guilty.
Free Karen Reed!
Let's go! My man. Thank you, bro.
No, for real, though. That's funny as
right
shit, bro. I can't believe you know.
Sound, there's an officer in the house. All I can feel is my phone vibrate. Wish it was here.
Who is that girl, man?
Who let the dogs out? Someone close the gate. It's cold where the broken face. Please, Lord, not today.
Crazy right now.
Yeah.
But I
think it's obviously a cover.
I'm gonna give you my card, right?
Yeah.
And I'm on J.F.K. show off with my YouTube. You can check it out. I'm gonna have you on there.
Oh, produced by Stacks.
Yeah, man. We was out there, man. Game 2. It was in the mornings. We were watching the Karen Reed trial, and at night we were all green, everything. AGE. We was out there in the midst of it, and we were in the jungle, around the Boston police, around the state police, and we still are. So we ain't afraid to say this. We're not going to get behind the keyboard. Just want to give you a glimpse of who we really are. We're really from this area. We're not afraid. but we still ain't gonna talk a bunch of trash about a guy that we don't know. I mean, chances are, if I got in trouble, I would want to hire this guy.
Right. He would definitely be the man to go to.
So we're doing a new segment, right, called Phone Call of the Week. And we had a phone call of the week from Reality Check last week. She called in and she had something to say. And yeah, let's get to that real quick. And you guys could check that out. All right, let's go.
Just spending time. Can't sleep. Good man. Don't let the bed bugs bite. It's time for owner gets to sleep. Good man. Sleep is the cousin of death. It's like you when you sleep. It's like you hold your breath. Good man.
We're about to take it back.
Chris clearly states that Brian Albert and Brian Higgins arrived together. He also clearly states that they left together. Chris Albert, his brother, says that.
So you're saying they left the waterfall together, him and Brian A?
Correct. According to Chris Albert's testimony, he said they arrived together, which does not fit Brian Higgins' testimony. He said that Brian Albert left before him and he came shortly afterwards. According to Chris Albert's testimony, they came in together and they left together. So if Brian Higgins is doing this sweep of the driveway, that's a lot.
You're rocking with the best.
Bingo. Phone call of the week by Reality Check. She said that that Chris Albert, in his testimony, walked Higgins and Big Bad Brian A walked out together, which I think she was insinuating. I went back and checked the footy on it. That she was insinuating that Big Bad Brian A and Higgins jumped in the car together. And so which means is the testimony that Higgins said about sweeping the driveway, that would be impossible because Brian A and him were together. And she also said that Chris A said that Big Bad Brian A and Higgins walked in together. And I think Higgins said that Brian A left first and then he followed after. I don't know the significance of that. I guess it's like she got a point. You know, if that is true, they went together and they left the bar together and they jumped in the same whip, him and Higgins. And then Karen got there first, and then, you know, John O jumped out the car and he ran into Brian A and Higgins at the house.
Well, that's what I was gonna say next. If that's the scenario she's going with,
I think so.
Do you think that they would even go in the house? You seen how it played out at the waterfall on the camera. They're not waiting to go in the house. It was on site. As soon as he pulled up, I think they waited for him to pull up, and as soon as he pulled up, that's when it was on. Maybe Brian went in, let the dog out back, and that's how the dog bit him, because it was a fight going on out front. He maybe fell back, hit his head on.
But did Karen Reed see it?
Right. That's the only thing. She's the only one that could clarify it. Other than that, we're all going to be speculating on what happened from the time from the waterfall until John O'Keefe passed away. R.I.P. to John O'Keefe.
You know, since we're on the topic of Chris A, you know, he's a very, very quirky guy. And, you know, you're now here at the Fuckery Donut Shop, and Fuckery Donuts is officially open. And go grab yourself a Fuckery Donuts t-shirt inside my shop. Go grab one. Support your boy. Grab a hoodie. Or, you know, throw me a super chat. My Cash App's J.F.K. Show Off if you want to check me out that way. What's your Cash App, James? They can check you at?
Yeah, my Cash App is James Amaral. Shit, I have to look.
It's Junior, right?
James Amaral Jr.
Yeah, if you guys want to throw something, you know, support, whatever, how that goes, you know. But since we're on the topic of Chris A, he's the guy that wanted to be clean, right? He just wants to come up clean. He could do no wrong, but he's a real quirky dude. And, he's so quirky that, you could just tell by the way he moves in his, when he was on the stand, he was doing a lot of weird things, man. So Fuckery Donut's now open. Check out his movements, man. He was really bugged out, man.
I knew they knew each other.
You're saying that they were acquaintances?
No, I guess they're friends.
You guess they're friends?
Yeah, they're friends. Was there something confused? Yeah, they're friends.
You actually woke up when he opened the bedroom door.
I don't think so.
Oh my God. Let's look at this dude one more time, man. Look at this dude.
I knew they knew each other.
You're saying that they were acquaintances?
No, I guess they're friends.
You guess they're friends?
Watch this. Oh, eye touch.
Was there something confused? Yeah, they're friends.
What's up with that? Scratching his face. Watch what he does with his hand.
When he opened the bedroom door.
Oh, lie time. Oh!
Was he an umpire? He looks like an umpire for baseball. Like he's telling them still third base. Still, bro. I think that when they talked with Lally, they knew once. And he said, if you feel uncomfortable, do some kind of sign. Because I seen Brian Albert. I seen Brian Albert doing some shit too like that.
Yeah,
every time he got uncomfortable. Yeah.
It runs in the family. They're quirked out, man.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah. So look, we're gonna take a couple of phone calls, right? And see what you guys got to say. And I hope we're doing good out there. How we doing out there? Mic check to the gods. How me and James Jackson doing? We giving you a show. Basically this show's about would Hank Brennan, if he talked to Big Bad Brian A and talked to guys like Chris, just like Reality Check said, he would see right through the bullshit, I would assume, and he would not want to go further with this case. Or is he the devil? He's Beetlejuice. He's working with the zombies. Is he going to be a good zombie or a bad zombie? You guys tell me. So I'm going to open up the phone lines to see what's going on over there. Yeah, but.
Yeah, so.
Talk to me, James.
What's going on? I was gonna read some chats, but what's going on, man?
No, go ahead. Read some chats.
Yeah, we got Caroline. We would hope. All right, Coco, J and J rule. Thank you, Coco.
Nice.
That was nice of you.
It is.
Great show. Thank you, guys. Kimberlina, 15 super chat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, she already gave it, maybe because it.
Nice.
Drea, can I donate to James without being on that platform? Which one?
The Cash App. Tell her the Cash App.
Yeah, I think that's the one she.
Put your Cash App up in there.
Oh,
well, she can,
That's the only way. Yeah.
As of right now,
yeah,
we're trying to get James. We need you to sub to James Jackson, and if you, when you sub to James, we'll get him monetized and we'll start doing some lives on his show. And you guys want to support him as well. He'll have all the.
Actually, this Thursday, me and Miss Shorty, I think she might, I don't know if she's still in the chat, but her and I are going to be doing something. So, yeah.
What's going on with that?
We're going to be talking about grief, a little bit about grief. She's been kind of through the same thing I've been through. Hey, Miss Shorty. And so we're going to talk about that, touch upon that. And then, a little bit about Karen Reed. I'm sure we'll go off topic, but yeah. So it's really nice, man, to have these opportunities.
That's awesome, my man.
Appreciate it, Jay. For what? And I JFK, because if it wasn't for JFK, you guys wouldn't know me, and that's how it works. So. Right. I wouldn't know of a Miss Shorty. I wouldn't know of Caroline or Drea or Reality Check.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely understand that, my brother.
Yeah.
Phone lines are open. Everything's set up, I would assume. And we're just waiting on people to call. And we'll take a couple of phone calls. That's the phone line right there. And yeah, that's great. You and Miss Shorty, check her out. She's from down under. It's okay, mate. It's okay, mate.
Yes, sir, she is.
She's from down under, man. And, we got something in common with the people from down under. They like the Celtics, and they also got great white sharks like us in the Cape.
Yeah, me and J.F.K. love the Great Whites. He got a chance to go out. What was it? 2 years? Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah. Oh, I went twice. Yeah, but 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
he goes. Yeah. Saw some great whites. A lot of them out here this year.
Oh yeah. So it's gonna be 9 o'clock Thursday night, y'all, at Miss Shorty.
Yep.
So that's awesome.
Yep. I appreciate it. What's that? Michelli and the Serena laughing out loud. James, thank you.
Got a phone call.
Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
What's up, Debbie?
How are ya?
We're all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I figure, am I the first phone call?
Yes, you are, Debbie.
I figured I'd open up the lines. Loving you boys. I discovered you on the 2020 episode because nobody was showing it but you guys, and I had the best night that night with the both of you. But
oh wow, that's so awesome.
Wanted to talk about your thoughts about Hank. I really feel, I feel that he is going to try to go after Karen. I love your thought on it, but I know he represented Whitey, but we also know who Jackson represented. And I love Jackson, and he's awesome. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like they brought him in to go after her. I think they're going to stick to the facts on it and not do any salad gaggling or whatever you want to call it. Go straight forward for what they think that she did. And I think Jackson's going to love it, and he's going to go right back at him because that's how Jackson is, too. I don't know. Just my thoughts.
James, you got something to say? Can you hear James? Go ahead, James. Say something.
Can you hear me?
I don't think she can hear you. She can't hear you.
I can't hear him now.
Yeah. So what? You have a question? You have a question you want to throw out there to anything, or you want to say anything else?
No, not at all. I just want to say, hey, I was the first caller. I saw the phone lines were open. No one was calling, so I hopped on.
That's awesome, Debbie. So let me ask you this. So you think that Hank Brennan, 100%, your take on it, he's going to be the bad Beetlejuice. He's going after Karen.
He's going to be the bad Beetlejuice. I don't even want to say it 3 times, but yeah, he's going to be the bad Beetlejuice. And you know what? Godspeed for him, but Jackson is Jackson, and Unetti is Unetti, and he's up for what he's going to go up against. So
yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys are awesome. I'll open the phone lines for you, and love you both.
Hey, love is love. We appreciate you. We'll talk soon, okay?
All righty, bye-bye.
All right, peace and love. Debbie, everybody. Yes.
Debbie. She said
he's Mike, trying to get a hold of J.F.K.
You trying to get a hold of J.F.K.?
To send a voicemail.
What's up, Mike?
Is this J.F.K.?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right, I left you a message. I don't know if you got it. But listen, you guys need to, and I can't believe nobody said this or caught this. When Alan Jackson was grilling Higgins.
Hold on 1 second, Mike. Mike, where you calling from, first of all?
Newton.
Newton, okay, Mike. All right, go ahead, brother. Go for it.
All right. When they all went back to Big Bad Brian A's house, and Higgins left because he said he had no whiskey.
Yep.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he said, Higgins, when you left, you didn't go home. He says, no, I went back to the police station. Who could sleep after something like that? Everybody missed that, right?
Who could sleep with something like that? Right.
How could anyone sleep?
He said that right on the stand.
Like yeah, go back and watch it.
Nah, for sure. And you know what? I'm gonna run that back, Mikey. I'm gonna make sure I'm on top of that.
All right. I'm not too good with all this shit that people put on TV, but I watch you guys all the time. You're cool.
Hey, man, so ain't you, Mike, man. I appreciate all the love, my brother.
All right, I want you to watch that testimony when he was grilling him.
All right,
I can't believe nobody saw it.
Call again
What's
soon.
that?
Call again soon.
All right, dude. Thanks.
All right, brother.
Ciao.
Nice.
Ciao.
Hey, all right.
Ciao.
I like that.
Yeah.
Call from
Samantha.
Hello. Who we got here?
It's Samantha. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Samantha. What's popping?
Hey, I wanted to ask you your and James' opinion. Why would Brian Higgins make a federal proffer if he didn't have anything to hide or anything to try to save his ass if he didn't do anything wrong? And if he did make a federal proffer, which we know he obviously did, what did he say in it? Did he throw his pals under the bus and that's why he's ghosted them since all this happened? Or what do you think he said?
Wow. I mean, that's a lot to unpack. I mean, I would think that in the proffer they told him, you got to tell us exactly what happened, and if we find out any lies, the deals are off the table. And I don't know if he said everything, because he still went on the stand and he still lied for them.
Right, but he also he also had his lawyer on the stand too.
Indeed.
Because I think making a federal proffer, if he gets caught lying, then he's obviously going to be charged with something.
I mean, he's a Fed, right? I guess he knows how it's gonna go down regardless. Like, you know what I mean? I guess he's just sitting back.
Well, he could be the Pope. I know he's an ATF agent. He could be the Pope, as far as I care. But I'm just saying, like, why would he? So, he makes his federal proffer right after this happens, and then supposedly he goes into rehab.
Is that 100% though?
Yes, he made it. Yes, Sean McDonough said that he made a federal proffer.
I know Sean.
And
I gotta believe Sean too, but I mean, he still came and testified though.
Well, he had to. He was subpoenaed.
True.
And then my thing is like, the word is that he went into rehab. Did he go into rehab because he made this proffer saying, okay, I know, I've got an alcohol problem or I've got a drug problem, whatever. I'm going to go into rehab to prove to you guys that I'm going to, take care of my issues in order to, continue being who he is in the law enforcement industry or whatever. And then, but he had to have said something to incriminate Brian Albert and Jennifer McCabe. I honestly, truly think that.
So let me ask you.
And that is the reason why the Commonwealth and that I don't think he's the reason. I think the feds were in it before, he made his little proper deal. But I think he also gave them some intel of what happened, because with the feds giving the defense and the Commonwealth all the exculpatory evidence, all I'm saying is that he had to have said something to save his ass.
So why, let me ask you this then. So why do you think, after knowing all that, let me ask you this then. Do you think that Hank Brennan, a.k.a. Beetlejuice,
okay,
do you think he's going to go at Karen's neck?
Pee-wee Herman.
Well, you could call him Pee-wee.
No.
I like Beetlejuice.
I think he sounds like Napoleon Dynamite, to be quite honest with you. But listen,
I think he's. But I'm saying, you think he's going to go after his neck after the proffer and after all these things he's going to find out, he's going to turn the other cheek and go after her?
Who? Hank Brennan?
Yeah.
You can be a defense attorney one day and turn around and be a prosecutor the next year. You could be a prosecutor at one point in your life and then turn around and be a criminal defense attorney or whatever, okay? Just because he was the defense attorney at one point doesn't mean that he isn't willing. And, you know, money talks. We all know that. He could have been paid $100 or $1 million. We don't know. But not $100, but you get what I'm saying. But it's the Commonwealth is seeking a conviction. That's all they're concerned with. Okay. So my theory is, it doesn't matter if he believes that she's innocent and he knows all of the corruption that's going on. I honestly think he isn't going to come in and do her a favor.
Why not, though?
Well, because he's being obtained by the Commonwealth. So
yeah, but how do you know that's not? Let me ask you this though. Like, let me just jump in there, right? And I appreciate all them thoughts. But isn't integrity some type of moral compass starts to kick in? You're gonna put this girl away when you know the police.
Absolutely.
I'm saying we just seen him go in for Whitey. You just seen all this type of stuff he did for Whitey Bulger. But hold on, he's gonna go ahead and put this girl in jail because a good prosecutor can lock an innocent person up easy. So when you say that, let me touch on something that you said, then I'll let you run it. You said that you could go from a defense to a prosecutor. Well, here's the thing. He was already a prosecutor. And then he became a defense. Right. Now he's back on the prosecution. Now, isn't that a little strange? Usually you do the prosecuting thing and then you become a defense lawyer. You never go back. You never go back. So is that an indication that he's trying to clean up this mess?
I don't think he's trying to clean it up at all. I think what they're seeking is just to try to get a conviction, which will never happen. You will never find 12 jurors in a room to ever convict Karen Read. I don't care. I would bet tens of thousands of dollars on it. You will never find 12 people to come to an agreement on all 3 charges to convict her. There is no way.
There's no way. I mean, listen, let me tell you something.
That's just my opinion.
That's a great opinion, but that's if they knew all that, you think they would hire if Hank Brennan, if they hired Beetlejuice to come in for the kill, do you think they're gonna gamble that like that? Nah, you could listen, the courtroom is the courtroom. It doesn't matter what's going once you're inside that courtroom, it's an intimate setting, and whatever goes down, goes down. And then when you walk out that courtroom, then you breathe, and then you're like, oh my God. But when they put you in that position, it gets dark. I don't care how much pink you got on. It's dark.
Right. But listen, you know how you said the integrity word?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you know Lally has no integrity because he showed the inverted video to the jury, which is actually lying to the jury, which he did multiple times because he said that, you know, it happened at 12:45, 12:30, 12:15. I mean, he came up with all these different times. And even Super Trooper Paul came up with 12:45. That is when John got hit, supposedly. So, I mean, Lowry lied to the jury so much. When he showed that inverted video, Judge Bev should have yanked him up by the nape of his neck and been like, look, you idiot, you cannot do that. And he should have been told that he should have been made to tell the jury that was an inverted video, because that is, I know lawyers, and they even said that the judge should have immediately pulled the jury out and brought him up to sidebar and told him, you can't be doing this. That's essentially lying to the jury.
Indeed.
So if he is going to, so Lally shows that inverted video, and Buchanan goes along with the stupid story, and Judge Bev says absolutely nothing.
No,
they don't. None of them have integrity.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the phone call.
Now I don't know about Hank Brennan. But you know, like I said, I've never seen his style or anything.
We're gonna find out. And you know what?
We will.
My prediction is it's gonna quietly go away. But that's just my prediction.
I think so. But who's to know that the feds don't come in before Mr. Brennan gets a chance to prosecute the case?
Hey, we'll see. Hey, we got
Possibility.
60 days. But let me let James speak on it, and because he can't hear you. I mean, you can't hear him, so I'm gonna click off with you and let James.
Yeah, I
have
can't
it.
hear James.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a
Okay,
lot, Sarah.
let me hear what James got to say.
Absolutely appreciate your time.
All right, honey.
Peace and love. What's up, James? It was a lot to unpack there. So she's not having it. She doesn't believe it. She thinks Beetlejuice is Pee Wee Herman. Go ahead, James. Go for it.
I mean, she touched on a lot. I can't see that. I can't see him coming in. A lot of people saying he doesn't have integrity. He could be bought. I just can't see that. This guy, from what I read on his background, he likes to really be involved in corrupt cases. He likes to get these people out the way, and he likes to clean house. He takes pride in his work, allegedly. So we're gonna see, and that's just where I stand with him. There's not.
Let me. I got a thought. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
But explain to the people how crazy this Whitey Bulger dude is in Boston. The fact that this dude is stepping up and speaking that he's not a rat. I mean, don't let that go over your fucking head, man. Tell him, Jez, man. Talk to him, please.
It was bad. Yeah, it was real bad. Whitey did some crazy things, There was shit that the only thing if I didn't hear about Whitey, he probably would have been an all right guy if he just wasn't. I heard the child molesting shit and all, but that. But other than that, yeah, Whitey was a nut. He was running around here, bought streets of Boston for however many years he got away with it. And for him to say he wasn't a rat, that he had them on his payroll, I kind of believe that. Why has he got to lie? I mean,
look at this. He's Beetlejuice, man. Hank Brennan. I mean, the point is, this guy said, forget the DOJ. They wanted Whitey bad. I mean, he was on the run for 15, I think like 16 years, had 800,000 cash, a house full of guns. People thought that the feds was hiding him. And come to find out, it wasn't even like that. He was under their nose in Santa Monica with a beard and a bucket hat. You know what I mean? And this dude's saying, yo, the feds are clowns. That's what Brennan's saying. Hank Brennan is saying, forget the feds. So you mean to tell me that same guy is going to look at these people and want to get their back? I don't know, man.
It's crazy, too. I seen another thing with Hank, and he was like, they asked him, so what do you think the real, whoever Whitey and Captain Greg had as their IDs? He goes, what do you think those real people were like? And he's like, I don't want to speak on that.
Hank Brennan. Excuse me, people. Yeah. Thank you, James, man, for that. Hi, James Jackson. Everybody subscribe to James Jackson. Please subscribe.
Thank you.
Call from D.
121212. Who we speaking with?
Hey, J.F.K, this is Dee. How are you?
Hey, what's up, babe? Where you calling from?
I'm down here in Kissimmee, Florida.
Oh,
but I used to live up there in Boston. I used to live up in Easton.
Oh, yeah. Easton, kid?
Nice. Yeah. Because my babies are still up there, all married now and stuff. But I'm just hanging down here.
Nice.
Yeah.
What can we help you with
So how
today?
you guys?
Go ahead.
Well, you're talking about old Beetlejuice over here coming in. And I think I got to side with you. I think they have dug, the Morrissey and all his gang, they've dug themselves so far in a hole. They got to do something to bring themselves back out of it without looking like they just gave up.
Indeed.
So I think they're bringing somebody in stronger to come look at the whole thing and then make a decision.
You know what? That's a great point. And you know what? The way you just broke that down in just that one bar and that one line is basically all I've been saying. They're bringing a guy in to check the wires, to check your internet connection. That's it. You know what I mean?
Come to find out, man. The only thing that was working in that courtroom was the fan.
Right?
Like everything else was broken.
Yeah. So let me ask you this before I let you go. If you had one word to describe Karen Reed, what would it be?
So I've said it a few times, and I'd call her a Fenian. In Ireland, a Fenian's a fighter. They're the people who believe in the Republic, and they're the ones that, you know, kind of brought things around with the people up north busting in when they shouldn't be.
Nice.
But she's a Fenian. She's strong.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you, B, for the call, and enjoy the rest of your night, and have a good
Thank you, guys.
week. Have a good week. We'll talk
You
soon,
too.
okay?
All right, hon. Bye-bye.
Thanks. What do you got? What do you feel about that, James? I'll let you touch upon that real quick.
Oh, I like it. I like what she said, man. She feels the same way. It's either you do or you don't with this type of situation that we're speaking of.
James Jackson, you can see it. Sub to JFK. Show off James Jackson on the bottom of the screen. Go get my man a sub.
From
CC.
Who we talking with?
CC.
Hey, CC, what's going on, girl?
I just wanted to give y'all a call. I sent you an email.
Okay.
And I think there's some very important information that has been missed by a lot of creators. And that was the testimony of the neuropsychologist, the woman who examined John's brain and stated exactly what killed him. And it wasn't being hit by a car. Right. And as far as Mr. Brennan, you said that Morrissey is corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you?
I did, yeah. So far,
okay.
I mean, everything I've seen, he doesn't look like a good guy.
Right. And Morrissey is who hired him. Now, you ask him what Turtle Boy said. Turtle Boy talked about him. Basically, that political way that, you know, Whitey's brother, Billy, was a politician, a senator, state senator, and that he was talking all about how, you know, Morrissey being connected and probably Brennan being connected, and it's a political move. But you got to understand, yeah, he don't like the FBI and he don't like the Justice Department. Didn't say anything about not liking the state police. So that also goes through my head, is that this guy doesn't, and also the judge and Lally and Lally's assistant, when they got that TUI from the FBI, they wanted to disregard it all. And they wanted to not let the FBI have any involvement in any of this. Neither did Morrissey. And Morrissey was writing letters to Josh Levy trying to keep him out. So, you know, it may be that they don't want the FBI coming and interfering in the state of Massachusetts.
Indeed. And you know what? That's a great point, and I appreciate that, CC. And I'll check my email and see what you got to say, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your night.
Appreciate watching you. Bye.
I appreciate you.
Thank
CC,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, what you got to say about that, James?
So she said that they brought the FBI. He doesn't like. No, he did touch upon the state police. I heard him say he doesn't like corrupt state police either, but he doesn't like the FBI either. So I can't see why the FBI would bring him in, or whatever she said. Did she say the FBI? She thought the FBI brought him in.
No, she's saying that she never said nothing about. He never said nothing about the state police, meaning that he ain't got beef with the state police. He don't like the feds, meaning that he'll take the side of Morrissey to go against the feds.
Oh, I see what she said. No, but they did. He did. I saw it in one of the clips we have when he's talking about criminals are going to be. He doesn't say we don't expect it from our law enforcement, state police, whatever, and FBI, whatever else he said. But he put staties in there.
Well, with that being said, we came in. Now we're out of here. Go by the name of JFK.
I go by the name of James Jackson.
We love y'all. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We'll be back real soon. Turn your notifications on. Sub up to JFK Show Off and James Jackson. And we appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the super chats. If I missed you, it's all love. Peace to all the callers. And we're doing a thing every week, the caller of the week. So we'll see who we're going to get this week on the caller of the week. And with that being said, God bless. Love is love.
Love is love. Peace.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
What are your qualifications?
You had to pick me. You didn't have to, but you picked me. Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively.
What do you think?
You think I'm qualified?
Well, we expect our criminals to commit crimes. That's what criminals do. We don't expect that from our law enforcement.
Prosecute them and convict them, but they really credit you with bringing out the government part of the corruption.
Well, we expect our criminals to commit crimes. That's what criminals do. We don't expect that from our law enforcement.
Never visit Massachusetts based on this case?
Exactly, because you would go there as a visitor and leave as a felon or something.
Memberships, I appreciate you. I got a lot of great things coming behind the scenes. You ain't gonna want to miss it. Thank you again. And if you're wondering what the membership's all about, we got 3 donuts. We got 6 donuts.
Donuts.
6 donuts? 6 donuts. And we got a dozen of Fuckery Donuts. And with that being said, Fuckery Donuts is now open.
Donuts.
Wow. Read between the lines. Game 2 finals. Let me ask you a question. Is Karen Reed guilty or is she not guilty?
Karen Reed is not guilty. No?
So you think she's going to get found not guilty no matter what?
I hope so. I hope so. There's no conceivable way that happened.
Out here at Causeway Street, Game 2 of the finals, and free Cameron Reed.
Can I ask you a question about the Celtics real quick? On the camera? Right here.